The new Pokemon Champions format is here, and a lot of new Mega Evolutions got released, and we're going to be trying out one of the brand new ones in Mega Staraptor, which is able to have Intimidate before it Mega Evolves, and then afterward gets Contrary, which means stat changes are reversed so it can boost up its defenses with close combat, and there are multiple stat lowering ways to be able to actually boost up the Staraptor's damage output. We're going to be trying out and seeing how well it can perform. This is my Screens Mega Staraptor team, and the idea is to bulk up the Staraptor utilizing Screens, the Contrary close combat that the Staraptor has access to, and then being able to boost its damage output with Parting Shot alongside the setup modes in the Golden Go and the Primarina. Let's break it down. So first Pokemon we have is going to be the Mega Staraptor, which when it does Mega Evolve, it does turn into a fighting flying type and is able to have the Contrary ability, which means it reverses any stat changes the Staraptor would normally receive. This includes intimidated attack drops turning into attack boosts, as well as close combat defense drops turning into defense increases, which is pretty valuable here. It's going to be running a really strong flying coverage in Brave Bird, still wants to hit really hard. You have the close combat, which again is able to increase the defenses because of the Contrary ability. We're running Tailwind because I do like the idea of having Tailwind on this team as speed control, especially with like Tailwind Golden Go or Primarina, which is able to do a lot of damage, as well as Roost for the recovery, since the Staraptor can stick around on the field, especially when you have the combination of both Screens on the Grimmsnarl and then the close combat defense drops. The fact that I can just have Staraptor stick around and Roost as the opponent is potentially stalling out Tailwind turns can be very effective. Intimidate going to be a great ability as well to decrease the attack of both of the opponent's sides. Can be nice for allowing me to set up easier. The EV spread is pretty simple, just max attack and max speed. We're going with max speed Jolly because you want to be able to outspeed the Jolly Garchomps, the Timid Charizard Ys, the Floettes as well as Adamant Sneasels. I think Timid or the Jolly on the Staraptor is really nice to outspeed all of those plus speed boosting Pokemon. So that is why we're going to go with max speed and max attack to hit pretty hard initially, since we have Screens and close combat to boost our defenses. Next Pokemon we have is going to be the Light Clay Grimmsnarl, and Light Clay is now in the Pokemon Champions metagame. So we have access to Light Clay, which is going to increase the Screens turns from 5 turns to 8 turns now, which is pretty nice. And it does have access to quite a bit because Grimmsnarl with the Prankster +1 priority to any of its non-attacking moves, and you have access to both Screens with Light Screen Reflect and Parting Shot, which is going to be pretty nice. It's a move that we've seen Incineroar use to lower the attack and special attack of the target and be able to pivot out. It can be great to lower attack stats on the opposing side, but also increase the attack stat of the Staraptor because you can go for self Parting Shot into Staraptor with that Prankster and give it a +1 attack and special attack boost, which can be nice for allowing Staraptor to do a ton of damage, especially when Grimmsnarl has finished his job, setting up the Screens, maybe wants to get out of there and bring out a free partner. It can help set up the Staraptor while doing so. Spirit Break is also a really strong fairy type move that we're using here that is able to lower the special attack of the opponent's side by 1 stage, which is also pretty solid. EV spread wise, this is just a good defensive Grimmsnarl, able to take attacks just generally and having a good amount of special defense to take on like Charizard Y and a bit more with the light screen, especially with the jump point in the special defense boost, again extra stat point, and then the rest is going to go into physical defense to take on attacks. It could have a bit of speed to outspeed like maybe Garchomp under Tailwind, but I don't think it's absolutely necessary here, as it's just really able to stick around and kind of pivot around with Parting Shots out of the Screens for the rest of the team. Next Pokemon we have is going to be the Leftovers Primarina with the Liquid Voice that's able to turn its Sound type moves into Water type moves with Hyper Voice, Moonblast, Calm Mind, and Protect. Pretty standard setup Primarina, but I do think it is pretty nice on this team, just having more special attackers, able to do a ton of damage, and yeah, the fairy coverage on the special side is pretty nice to be able to hit quite a few Pokemon in general. It's able to hit a lot of Pokemon for super effective damage, like the Incineroar that could be a little bit annoying. The ability to just hit with a really strong fairy coverage attack into Garchomp and multiple other Pokemon like Dragonite is just very much appreciated. So pretty simple Primarina. This has enough speed to be able to outspeed the max speed Timid Floettes as well as the Jolly Garchomps in the format under Tailwind. And then we have a good amount of special attack with the Modest Nature and enough stat points to get an extra stat point in the special attack stat. And then we're going to be running 21 HP because it does allow you to get the maximum amount of leftovers recovery that Primarina does get access to. And the rest is going to go into physical defense because after it intimidates, the Parting Shots reflect, this Primarina is just not going to be taking that much, especially when it already has a high natural special defense, 1 Calm Mind boost behind Light Screen. Yeah, like I don't really need to invest much in special defense. I'd rather have it be invested into the physical defense instead. instead. Next Pokemon we have is going to be the Hisuian Arcanine, and this Hisuian Arcanine is going to be a good answer into Garchomp as well as King Gambit. Since I don't have to worry about giving the King Gambit Defiant boost, it's also really nice as a Fairy Resist, which the team does appreciate. Holding that Focus Sash to be able to always survive one strong hit, especially in a format with like Garchomp. The Earthquake is going to be really important, so Focus Sash to keep itself around. And then Rockhead, an ability that prevents the Arcanine from taking recoil damage, which is nice when you have moves like Flare Blitz and Head Smash. Really powerful attacks, but they do cause recoil, so don't have to worry about taking recoil from the damage instead. Rock Slide has a spread rock type move, which is very useful in the Charizard Y and Breaking Sashes, which is pretty nice, and I do think it's pretty valuable. So we are going to be running Rock Slide on the Hisuian Arcanine, and then the EV spreads just simply max speed and max attack, just to be able to outspeed any of the modest Charizard Ys in the format, and able to do a ton of damage that way. Next Pokemon we have is going to be the Life Orb Garchomp, which now Life Orb is in the Pokemon Champions metagame, able to power up the attacks of the Garchomp at the cost of 10% of HP per hit that the Garchomp provides. The Rough Skin is able to just chip away any opponents that come into contact with Garchomp, and a pretty simple Earthquake, Dragon Claw, Rock Slide, Protect. I think Life Orb Garchomp is a really strong option because it does allow you to always KO Charizard Y with the Rock Slide, which is pretty important. And then of course, like Life Orb Dragon Claw can KO opposing Garchomps, and Earthquake with Life Orb is pretty nice, especially being able to one-shot some of the Caesars that used to be able to survive the Earthquake. EV spread wise, we are going with max speed because we want to be able to outspeed like the Charizard Ys, as well as like any of those base 100s and below. And we're going with a lot of attack. We have 4 defense because this does allow you to have a higher chance of being able to survive Dragon Claws plus the Rough Skin damage from opposing Garchomp. The combination of that is pretty solid, so it just gives you a higher percentage odds to be able to live that, but otherwise it's pretty much near the max attack damage, so you start hitting pretty hard. Final Pokemon on this team is going to be the Citrus Berry Golden Go with the Good as Gold ability, which is going to be able to prevent it from getting affected by any status moves in general. So that's pretty solid. And Golden Go got very nerfed in this generation. It is a new Pokemon in the MB metagame, but Make It Rain on Golden Go got so heavily nerfed. It is now 95% accurate, over 100% accurate, and who thinks about that? But the biggest downside really is that Golden Go normally got a -1 special attack boost in Scarlet Violet. Now when you use Make It Rain, it is -2 special attack, which kind of makes this not great, but I do still want to try out Golden Go, and I think having the Steel typing on a Staraptor team again, because like the team can be really weak to the Floet combinations, I think is definitely worth exploring at the very least. We have a lot of HP just to be able to tank attacks in general, good amount of special attack, which is able to just do a ton of damage after the Nasty Plot, and then a little bit of speed to be able to outspeed Mega Aerodactyl under Tail, and that's the idea here. Try out Golden Go and see if it still can put in a bit of work into the Floet stuff, but let's try out the team and see how well it can perform. So how to use the team? Well, there are a lot of ways to set up with this team, but of course screens is probably going to be one of the biggest ways to set up with this team, because you do have Light Screen and Reflect that's able to lower the damage output of the opponent's moves, so your other Pokemon can do a ton of damage or set up Nasty Plot or Calm Mind. Grimmsnarl is a fantastic lead, and I really do like it with the combination of Staraptor, because you do have access to that Intimidate immediately with the Grimmsnarl, and you can go for like Light Screen and Reflect immediately, which can be pretty solid, and then you of course do have access to that Parting Shot, where to lower the damage of your opponent's side, or you can Parting Shot your Staraptor. And it is a case where you can even switch out Staraptor, of course, and go for Parting Shot and get like 3 attack drops basically in the same turn on the lead turn 1. So that can be pretty fantastic. You can also switch out Staraptor and preserve it just to get that Intimidate off, and then bring out like one of your setup mons like Golden Go Primarina. Intimidate plus a screen, and then setup afterward is also really strong as well. You could also just straight up lead Grimmsnarl plus Golden Go or Grimmsnarl plus Primarina, and just set up the screens plus your Nasty Plot and Calm Mind immediately, which is also pretty effective. Staraptor can also just lead with fast Tailwind. It does have some pretty good offensive pressure. Staraptor plus Garchomp is really solid into like slower paced teams, where you can just go for straight damage with a Life Orb attack from Garchomp alongside a pretty heavy hit from the Mega Staraptor. You can of course lead other offensive combinations as well. featuring like the Staraptor plus Golden Go mode as well, including the Staraptor plus Primarina for that Intimidate plus the high special defense on Primarina naturally, is also a pretty effective tool. There are a lot of different other leads you can go with the team as well, but I'd probably say those are going to be your main ones. You can go for like a Golden Go or Primarina setup with screens immediately and then try to go for Tailwind with Staraptor plus your setup mod so it can outspeed Pokemon under the Tailwind and dish out a ton of damage that way. Or you can just go straight for like Staraptor setup and just go for like close combats to bulk it out and then bring out your setup mod and then like set up a Tailwind plus like a Calm Mind or Nasty Plot after the Grimmsnarl has either Parting Shot, seed itself out, or gets knocked out early. If you'd like to check out the details of the team, they will be linked in the description down below. But otherwise, let us try out Mega Staraptor, probably one of the most famous Mega Evolutions of this regulation, and see how well it can perform. Alright, we're going to see Gengar, Incineroar, Sinistcha, Politoed, Como, and Archaludon. Perish. Alright, this is going to be kind of interesting. I mean, Perish is fine because like Golden Go actually eats Perish for breakfast. So I think this is probably okay. Grimmsnarl Golden Go is actually pretty good against my opponent's team. Archaludon's also really solid, and then... Or not Archaludon. Garchomp's pretty solid, and I think Staraptor. Like, Primarina is good, but I don't think I need it because I do have access to Staraptor, which has fighting coverage for Archaludon, flying coverage for Como as well. And then Garchomp is also able to threaten the Como, while Grimmsnarl is a fairy type, so it does threaten Como initially. So I think this combination is pretty good against my opponent's team. The Golden Go is really tough for them to actually handle right off the bat. And I will do a ton of damage with Shadow Ball, and I'll live a Mega Gengar Shadow Ball with Golden Go because I have a lot of HP investment. So let's see what they decide to go for lead-wise. Incineroar Politoed. Very interesting lead. Not a lead I would have expected, but you know, we'll take it. Okay. You also can't Perish Golden Go. Not only is it Ghost type, but Good as Gold does ignore Perish Song as well. So what am I doing here? I think turn 1, set up a light screen is pretty good and just protect. Like, they could fake out and Weather Ball, but I don't think it really gains them that much ground. So I think I'm just going to go for Protect. I feel like Weather Ball Throat Chop is more likely in the gold. Oh, they click Fake Out. Okay. I could have Nasty Plotted, but that's fine, I suppose. They do Weather Ball into gold. I guess I just set up a light screen and probably just swap out a Garchomp. I don't really need health on Garchomp realistically in this game. And I think this is probably acceptable. Yeah. Because Weather Ball after the light screen probably puts me out of Citrus, and then Throat Chop would KO me afterwards. So that's why I don't want to click Nasty Plot in this position. I think Garchomp's fine in clicking a light screen, but we're going to see a swap actually into Gengar. What a weird swap, but okay. Maybe they're just trying to put me in range of Shadow Ball, but I don't think that works. But we'll see. I do get a light screen off, and we are going to see a Weather Ball come out, okay? Yeah, Garchomp eats. I don't see a problem with clicking Spirit Break here. I feel like this is Mega Gengar Protect and swap to Instant. Like, that's what I would assume comes out here. They could also protect Weather Ball, which also seems a bit weird to me, but I guess they could go for that play, I suppose. I don't mind if they go for that play. I do have an option afterward, but we'll see. But I do think Gengar should protect. They didn't swap to Instant, so I guess they're clicking Protect plus Weather Ball, which is fine. Yeah. Okay. That makes a bit more sense here, but I'm okay with that because they can't KO Golden Go. They do go for Weather Ball here. Golden Go eats. And here comes the Spirit Break into the Politoed, so it's going to do less damage over time. But now I feel like I'm in an okay spot because what I'm going to do is I'm just going to Parting Shot out to Gengar, and I'm going to click Shadow Ball. If they swap out Gengar, smart play by them, but I could definitely see them getting greedy with Shadow Ball. Okay, good play on their part. Into Incineroar again, that's fine. I am losing a big ground, but granted, like, they haven't really been able to do that much to me. They have gotten some good damage though. Shadow Ball. And Weather Ball and a gold. But yeah, the gold is just not taking any damage here. Now I'm going to swap out. I'm going to go Garchomp for the Grimmsnarl slot, and I'm going to protect. Because then next turn I threaten Stomp or Stomping or Earthquake and swap to Staraptor. Which I think is a pretty good trade because there's like nothing that they can do that switches in Earthquake other than Sinistra. And I don't know if Sinistra wants to switch in against Golden Go. Could be Sugarberry Instant, but I think that's an okay trade-off. I would like to get Staraptor into a spot where it can actually do some damage here. Let's see if we can get that. But yeah, we will protect Golden Go. Let's see if this is Fake Out. I don't think you should Fake Out here. They Weather Ball my Grimmsnarl. Good play. Is this Drill Chop? Into the Golden Go then? Parting Shot into the gold. Maybe trying to catch a switch. Okay, that makes sense. Rain stops, so they don't have access to Weather Ball anymore, so they're in a really uncomfortable spot. I'm just going to Earthquake, swap into Staraptor, because then we can start getting up maybe Staraptor to actually get like the Mega Evolution. And I don't have to worry about like this Instant Intimidate line. So I like that a lot here. They don't have a super comfortable switch here. Maybe Sinistra for the Politoed, and the Instant maybe lives life from Earthquake, which is acceptable because getting a bunch of damage to Instant is still really good for my Golden Go regardless. Okay, Golden Go retreats into Staraptor. They retreat Instant into Sinistra. Okay, so Sinistra for that slot, but Staraptor's in a really good spot. And yeah, the Politoed protects. Okay. So I got Staraptor in a very, very good spot. Did I try to KO the Instant so Golden goes in a good spot? Because they probably match a Gotcha plus swap to Instant. That's what I would do if I was them. Might be worth it. I think I'm gonna Earthquake and I'm gonna go for the close combat. Because Sinistra also might play a bit scared because of the Brave Bird option, but yeah, that's the thing about wanting to have Mega Evolve the Staraptor early in the game. It's kind of hard to. We're gonna see the Instant come in, which makes sense. So close combat and the Earthquake should get the Instant at the very least. The only problem is I might be trapped in by the Gengar, but I think this is still pretty alright. Because I'll get okay damage into Sinistra. Yeah, close combat. It's Chople, okay. I was hoping it would be Pasho. Although I think Life Up Earthquake should still get the Instant at this range, which is good. So I get my defenses up. Here comes Earthquake. And now Instant is gone, which is good. Okay. Now I just need one thing that I have to specifically dodge from the Sinistra. And it's not like Matcha Gotcha and the Garchomp's that bad for me. It's the other thing. Oh, Garchomp lives, which I'm actually shocked by. I actually didn't want Garchomp living. Okay, no burn on the Staraptor is the more important thing, I feel. Okay, Staraptor's in a nice setup position. They have to go Gengar, right? No, Politoed. Okay, so I can actually retreat Staraptor if I want. Or I could keep it in. Keeping it in isn't awful either. I think Grimmsnarl makes sense and probably Tailwind. Yeah, I like this a lot actually. Because I have a play I think I can do the next turn. We'll see what they decide. I could see Protect Matcha here. I could see Protect from the Sinistra, Weather Ball into Chomp or Staraptor. Probably I target the Staraptor realistically. I think Staraptor is the bigger threat, but we'll see. Here comes Grim. Okay, no Protects. Did they Encore? If they Encore, this is a bit awkward, but I should still be fine. Matcha Gotcha. That doesn't do that much. No burn, thankfully. They do Weather Ball the Staraptor, but I'll take this very easily with Light Screen plus the defense boost. Yeah. Alright, we're gonna Parting Shot my Staraptor here. And I feel like Brave Bird to Sinistra and get rid of the Sinistra. So we get the attack boost on the Staraptor, which is nice. We threaten the Sinistra. We have Tailwind turns to work for Garchomp, so it actually puts in some good damage here. And then Politoed cannot beat the Golden Go once the rain turns are off. I think I should live the Recoil and Weather Ball combination barely. It looks like it. Weather Ball. Yeah, I do survive, which is nice. Light Screen wears off. Perfect. But now I can protect the Garchomp and Roost to scout for the Gengar Protect and the Weather Ball. So I'm feeling pretty good about this spot. Yeah, there's 2 turns of Tailwind on my side, 3 turns of Rain, but we want to sell out the Rain turn so we can get Golden Go in a comfortable spot. So we'll Roost and Protect. Then next turn we can go for like a bunch of different plays. Yep, they protect Gengar because they kind of need Gengar because they're kind of on the timer. And I imagine the Politoed's probably going to go for an attack, but this works out because Brave Bird into Earthquake is looking like such a valuable spot here. Because I need any damage onto Gengar to put in guaranteed Shadow Ball range in case for some reason the Gengar has a loss of death. But yeah, now we can go for Earthquake into a Brave Bird. So we should be in a pretty comfortable spot to just seal up the game here. If they double protect, it's annoying. It's still playable, but it is really annoying. They protect Politoed. I guess they're going for like an aggressive play here, but it doesn't work out for them. I do get a Brave Bird off into the Gengar and then an Earthquake. So this 100% seals it. Yep, so start. Because like Politoed, like I got damage into Politoed if they got double attack. So like, what am I supposed to do if they double protect? I guess I could have close combated the Politoed because Gengar cannot live life from Earthquake. So maybe the better play was to close combat the Politoed and Earthquake. I could have also self-roosted if I really wanted to. Self-roost wouldn't have been too bad into Earthquake, which also isn't terrible. I just didn't want a position where it's like, okay, Staraptor's on the field, maybe Politoed goes for Encore, and then I'm in a weird spot. Because like then Garchomp goes down and then I'm trapped with either one of Golden Go plus Grimmsnarl, and they could take advantage of the fact that Staraptor can't do anything to like build up something, right? So that's why I didn't want to exactly go for a Roost lock in play. So that was the idea here. But yeah, now they just cannot win the game because they can't touch the Golden Go once I stall out the final turn of Rain. So I'm always going to protect because there's always a chance that they crit me. So I'm always going to Light Screen here. And I'm going to go for a Protect with my Golden Go. The next turn, I'm just going to Parting Shot plus Nasty Plot. And then the Politoed, again, cannot win because it is unable to beat my Golden Go. That's immune to Perish Song. And they don't have another water move other than Weather Ball. Because it should be Weather Ball, Encore, Perish Song, Protect. So, yep, they go for Weather Ball. Rain stops. And we go for Parting Shot now. Well, actually, we don't even have to Parting Shot. We get Spirit Break. It doesn't really matter. Again, the Politoed has no way to touch the Golden Go. We go for Nasty Plot. And then the Politoed probably is going to attempt to perish. But Good as Gold is not going to allow it to affect it. Unless there's a bug that we just don't know about where it involves Perish Song and Good as Gold. But they shouldn't affect us here. Yep. As it is working as it intended to. So we will go for the Perish Song. Beautiful. And Spirit Break gonna come out. So Gold just wins. I could like triple protect if I wanted to against the Politoed, but the Politoed realistically cannot touch the Pokemon. And as you can see, no Perish counter for the Gold, so I just click Shadow Ball and battle gonna be forfeited. So nice. All right, we have Golden Go, Annihilate, Raichu, Mousehold, the Grimmsnarl, and Sinistra. These reminds me of like really big compositions SV, whereas like regulation, I think C. I mean, they also had it in regulation H, I suppose. Setup, mouse hold, golden go, annihilate, but I don't know. We'll see how it goes in this format, but I don't see a problem with just bringing Staraptor Garchomp most of the time and then having like Arcanine for offensive pressure and then maybe like I bring Grimmsnarl because like back screens doesn't seem that good to me, but like what else am I supposed to bring that'll actually put in work here? Maybe Prim. Or Golden Go, because I guess Golden Go is also pretty good. Let's just bring Golden Go. I think Golden Go is probably fine. Prim is also not too bad here. I'm kind of curious which setup mode they go for because I don't really think Annihilate plus Mouse Ultra seems really interesting here because of the fact that if they lead that, I just click Brave Bird Earthquake, outspeed the Annihilate, and sure, I give them the Defiant boost because of the Intimidate, but otherwise, like, they don't do any damage because they don't have a Rage Fist stack. Because if you go for beat up with Mouse Hold into the Annihilate speed order, Staraptor outspeeds, gets a Brave Bird off, then Garchomp outspeeds, goes for an Earthquake. It's just like, okay, what did they accomplish? And then if they click Follow Me, I get big Earthquake damage into Annihilate, but Brave Bird knocks the Mouse Hold. They don't have beat up for the rest of the game. Sure, they have 100 base power plus 1 Rage Fist, but that's like a lot less scary than like a 300 base power Rage Fist, right? So I think that's fine. Or 250 base power Rage Fist and at plus 1. Like plus 100 isn't like doing any crazy numbers. So Annihilate Grimmsnarl, that makes sense here. Versus Staraptor and Garchomp. I'm pretty sure I can just go for a close combat into the Grimmsnarl immediately, and I don't want to protect. Do I want to protect? I could Dragon Claw as well. Because I think they probably reflect protect, right? If they bulk up, they just lose to Earthquake Brave Bird. Or maybe we do Earthquake. You know what? I'm going to Earthquake. I'm going to Earthquake close combat. I was wondering if like I even risk Earthquake because they could technically just reflect bulk up. But if I get the Earthquake damage off, like it's still pretty good for me, I think. Oh, they have Fake Out. Okay. So they Fake Out Staraptor. But that's fine, isn't it? Yeah, since I get an Earthquake off, I'll do some pretty big damage to Annihilate. Like, this should do a ton of damage. Yeah, like, look at how much damage that did. And they bulk up, but, like, that's fine. Now I can double into the Annihilate if I want to, so they probably have to, like, sack the... They have to go for, like, Parting Shot or something, but that's fine. I'm going to go for close combat into the Grimmsnarl, and I'm just going to protect the Garchomp. This covers like Parting Shot into Garchomp and protect on Annihilate. So let's see. They can attack with Annihilate here. Yeah, exactly. So perfect. I'm able to get a close combat off into the Grim. Yep, it is Parting Shot, but I am able to get a close combat. So I get a defense boost with Staraptor freely, which is nice. So here comes close combat into the Grim, takes the knockout into Grim, so Grimmsnarl goes down. And now no screens that I have to worry about, so I can just Brave Bird Earthquake pretty safely. So yeah, like I don't have to worry about Parting Shot either, which is fantastic. Okay. So good first turns. Mouse Hold coming in. But like the thing is, I just click Brave Bird and I click Earthquake. And I said this sequence before, but this does not work against Garchomp Staraptor because you're forced to follow me here. And if you follow me, you're just taking a bunch of damage. They're going to forfeit because you kind of realize you cannot break through the Staraptor. So Staraptor being really good into Mouse Hold Annihilate, especially paired with Life Up Garchomp, just ripping it to shreds on these setup teams. All right, we have the Swampert, Pelipper, Whimsicott, Tabasky Legion, Sableye, and King Gambit. Interesting team. All right. So I really like Primarina here. Primarina Grim is actually really solid here. So I think I'm just going to lead. Do I lead? Yeah, I lead Grimmsnarl Prim easily. And then I think I just have Staraptor back. And then last mon. It's either Gold, Garchomp, or Arcanine. Probably Gold. As much as I don't really like dealing with the King Gambit, Gold is good into Sableye. Like, it auto wins against Sableye immediately. I don't know if I want to Calm Mind immediately because Sableye could be brought here, but we'll see. I don't know because if I go to Golden Go mode, then they get screwed by like me attack. Okay, they lead Kingambit plus Sableye, which is pretty reasonable for me. I think this is a pretty good spot for me because I just lead Grim plus Primarina. And I think turn 1, I'm just going to go for Spirit Break into the Sableye and just Moonblast immediately. Actually, no, I go for Reflect plus Moonblast. Yeah, no, that's better. Reflect Moonblast immediately. I was thinking about just getting rid of Sableye immediately, but this is fine. Like, if they fake out, sure. It doesn't really do that much damage. I get a Reflect up. And what does Gambit do? It clicks Sword Stance. Okay, so if it's... I mean, if you're Mono Dark, like, you're not doing too much to me. I also still have Staraptor with Reflect up afterwards, so I think this is fine. I'm going to go for Spirit Break into the Sableye, and I think we set up a Calm Mind first. Or do we just Moonblast? Maybe we just Moonblast double up and get rid of everything around the Sableye. They could set up another Sword Dance, but they're not getting KOs. What was their plan there? I didn't click an attack. Okay. I do get a Moonblast off. It is Roselli Berry, so I should get rid of Sableye with the double up, and then we're going down to 4v3. I'm not really too worried about Kingambit, as I said before, unless they're going to go to +6, and then maybe Staraptor will KO it afterward. Because I think Reflect with Staraptor probably lives the Sucker Punch. We'll find out, but that is something to keep in mind. Did they kowtow immediately? No, Ironhead. They have Ironhead? Okay, that's an interesting set. That's fine by me, though. Yeah. Life Orb, Ironhead, Kingambit. Sure. Sure. Bring out Staraptor. I don't care if I'm giving them +3. That's fine. Pelipper coming in. Sure. Did they Sucker Punch or did they protect Hurricane? I think they protect Hurricane. Well, the thing is, they might not even have Protect. That's the thing. I'm trying to figure out if they even have Protect or not. You know what? I'm just going to close Calm Mind. I'm going to set up a Calm Mind with Prim. I think that's okay. Because if it's Ironhead, I'm suspicious that they even have Protect. But we'll find out. They do not have Protect, it looks like. So they go for Wide Guard to cover for Hyper Voice. Okay, so I got a close combat off, and then I should be good. They Sucker Punch a Staraptor, but I definitely live. They crit. I know I live that. I know I live that, man. I'm calking this, but I know I live that. I know I live that. Staraptor. Mega. Versus Kingambit. Because even though it was +3 Life Orb, don't forget Reflect was up. And I resist as a fighting type. Dude, +3 Staraptor. +3 Life Orb Kingambit doesn't even KO Staraptor, even if I don't have Reflect up. Literally with Reflect, it does like half. Less than half, actually. And then let me just check, because since they crit, I mean, as long as they didn't get the lowest roll of crit, they KO'd, but like, that's just so silly, man. Oh well. We're gonna Nasty Plot and we're gonna Hyper Voice and hope that they mess up at this point, because like, that's what I have to do. I just have to hope they mess up. Okay, they go for Helping Hand. I don't know if this is Sucker Punch or something into Primarina. Yeah, they did. Okay, do I survive? Yeah, I do. I get a Nasty Plot and a Hyper Voice off, I suppose, so maybe there's something here, but like, I just don't think I can win against the... I don't think I can win against the, what's it called, the Swampert. Because, Sucker Punch crit into my Staraptor. I KO'd a Gambit, Pelipper, weakened a bit. Citrus. Swampert comes in. I guess the hope is Gold lives in Earthquake here, like a Helping Hand Earthquake. Prim survives the attack. I'm going for Shadow Ball because I don't know Make It Rain will KO the Pelipper. I could go for Shadow Ball crit in the Swampert, but I think if I can isolate the Swampert, it might be doable. Yeah, they go for Helping Hand Earthquake. I should live this with Golden Go because of Reflect. But we'll see. This is still Mega Swampert. It does actually do a ton of damage. I lost so much momentum because of the Staraptor crit. Yeah, I do live with Golden Go. Okay. That's one bright side, I suppose. So I KO Pelipper, and now I have single target Hyper Voice and Rain. I don't think I'm KOing the Swampert, unfortunately, but like it's what I gotta do. Like Prim has to live the Earthquake, which it might. And then Hyper Voice crit the Swampert or something. Like that's what I need here. Rain +1. I don't think it's enough, but we'll see. Because Swampert is hecka bulky. Alright, here comes Earthquake. Yep. Doesn't come close, actually. Hyper Voice. And I had to KO Pelipper guaranteed there because otherwise Helping Hand would have KO'd, right? I'm gonna go for a double tech here. Okay, I do get a double tech with Golden Go. So if the Swampert for some reason speed ties or is not max speed, maybe. Unless Prim can live Earthquake and it's like a min roll. But like that was the hope that I could get for. Let's see if it'll actually reward us here. Because I don't think Prim is living the Earthquake. Because I think it did 60. So we go for Shadow Ball Moonblast. If they're max speed adamant, I do lose. But I think they are max speed adamant because like it didn't really like tank attacks. Yeah, they go for the Earthquake. Premier goes down. Staraptor, you failed us. You failed us. All because the King Gambit crit me. Also, it's funny because Life Orb King Gambit is what they needed to. Because if it was Black Glasses, I guess, they didn't KO with the crit. Because Black Glasses crit... Actually, it's a roll, I think, for Black... Yeah, it's a roll for Black Glasses. Alright, we see Dragalge, Garchomp, Sarilege, Scrafty, Rotom Wash, and Basculegion. What a heck of a team. Okay. Is this going to be a Mega Dragalge, Mega Scrafty? What am I looking at here? Alright. So I do like getting my Staraptor set up immediately if I can. The close combats look really nice, especially when I can boost my defenses against this team. So I think that's probably pretty good. My back line, this is where it's going to get tricky. I think Garchomp's pretty good against this team. They have a lot of ground weaks in general. And then the last Pokemon, I bring Primarina, Arcanine, or Golden Go. I like Arcanine for the speed, but I think Primarina is better type-wising against this team. Another backup to Garchomp. Good into Sarilege. Basculegion's kind of not great into, but let's see if this is right. What are they going to lead here? It's going to be Dragalge, Scrafty. Interesting lead, okay. Versus Staraptor, Grimmsnarl. Now, curious that they brought both, but this works out pretty okay for me. Because I can go for... Can't I just go for close combat into Scrafty, swap out into Garchomp? The reason I can do this play is because if they fake out Sludge Bomb my Grimmsnarl, I'm in a really fantastic spot. I think this is correct because they might want to deny the screen, so they might just go for Fake Out plus Sludge Bomb. If that's the case, that means Staraptor gets a defense boost, and then Garchomp's in to click like Stomping Tantrum. Okay, Dragalge Mega Evolves. I'm gonna double check these stats real quick, but I know it gets access to Regenerator when Mega Evolves. Has really good special defense. His physical defense is underwhelming. I'm surprised they faked out the Staraptor, but that's fine. Toxic. Okay. Some toxic stall stuff. Interesting. They don't really have a good switch other than Rotom into Earthquake. I think I'm just gonna go for... Do I double up the Dragalge with Earthquake? Into Brave Bird, or do I double up the Scrafty with close combat? I don't need the defense booster at the moment. Dealing with the Dragalge is probably priority number 1 realistically. I don't know if they have Protect or not, but let's go for Brave Bird. Let's go for Brave Bird, Earthquake. They retreat Scrafty. Is this Rotom? Basket Legion? I mean, that's taking a life for Earthquake, so that's a lot of damage. Yeah, even if you Protect, I still got a lot of damage. And if I was reading to switch, I would have close combat, so this works out, I guess. Okay. So I do get an Earthquake off for some pretty big damage. How much is this doing? And I'm kind of curious on what the item on the Basque is. That's really good damage. That's Frail Basque, I want to say. Maybe it has some bulk. I think now we just Brave Bird the Basque and Heart Swap into Grim. Or I could Protect, but I want to set up for when Scrafty comes. I want to be set up when Scrafty comes in. I want to dodge and Intimidate. Because I think Scrafty comes in for a slot. I just don't know which slot they're coming in for. It's either the Dragalge or the Basque Legion. I don't think there's like a safe line to figure it out. We go out into Grimmsnarl. Oh, they just stay in. Oh, they're Scarf. Okay, so they Wave Crash the Staraptor, which unfortunately takes it out. Okay. They do Dragon Pulse, the Grimmsnarl. I was worried about Scarf and I thought they could Wave Crash. That's why I also switched out to Garchomp into Grim because it kind of covered for it. But now it's a bit tricky. We go on a Prim here, I suppose. And we can Calm Mind, I suppose. There are a lot of plays I can do. Spirit Break plus Calm Mind. I could Moonblast a Basque and try to catch like a Scrafty on the switch. I think Calm Mind, Spirit Break is fine here. If they Wave Crash the Grim, that's fine. They probably... Oh, I'm surprised they didn't go Scrafty here, but that works. Yeah, because that means the recoil should take it out, right? Perfect. Okay, that's not too bad. And if they Toxic, that's fine. I got to Calm Mind up with the Prim, so I KO Scrafty, like, guaranteed. Maybe if it's Roselli Berry and has a Lost but Death, maybe. But Spirit Break gonna come out in a Dragalge. That's a good amount of damage. That's guaranteed Earthquake range. They do Toxic, which is fine. Because as long as I'm KOing the stuff around the Dragalge faster and then isolated for my Garchomp, I should be okay. Alright. This is Scrafty, or is this the final Pokemon? If it's Rotom, this will be interesting of an endgame. Scrafty comes in, okay. I'm clicking Moonblast and I'm clicking Parting Shot. I have no reason not to make that play. Yeah, we're gonna Parting Shot the Dragalge so we can get Garchomp in to threaten the Earthquake. Yeah, they fake out the Primarina, which makes sense. I do get a Parting Shot off into the Dragalge, so that will mean that I actually pressure it with Earthquake from Garchomp the following turn. Then I could actually switch out Grimmsnarl back into... Or switch out Garchomp back into Grimmsnarl. Because I can also just threaten life with Dragon Claw as well. Venoshock, okay, that's fine. It does do a lot of damage, but granted, like, I'm still around, which is important. I could also double up the Scrafty slot, which is also a tempting play. And I am probably thinking about doubling up the Scrafty slot because they don't have a good switch. Like, Rotom goes down. Yeah, everything on their team goes down. Maybe Ceruledge, but I don't think they brought Ceruledge against this at this point. So I'm going to go for the double up into the Scrafty with Dragon Claw Moonblast. I think they always protect Dragalge and they attack here. Yeah, like Garchomp was going down to Moonblast, so this is fine here. Yeah, perfect. So I get a Dragon Claw off. Goodbye Garchomp. Garchomp goes down. Critical hit doesn't really matter. It's not Habanberry. And I did also Moonblast that slot as well. So all I really need to do is just get a hit off in a Scrafty with Moonblast. That's basically what I need to do. Do I live 2 poisons? It looks like I lived the next one barely, so I should be able to get a Moonblast off in a Scrafty after lefties. So now we protect the Primarina to avoid taking the fake out damage because that's actually really valuable. We go into Grim. This is probably Parting Shot into Grim. This is going to be really close, actually. It also might come down to Scrafty attack here. I don't know if you Venoshock or you Dragon Pulse the Garchomp slot. We'll see. Fake out. It isn't a Prim. They kind of have to. The question is, what are you doing with your Dragougi? They Toxic the Grim, which is fine. As long as I get a hit off into the Scrafty, I should be good. Okay. Leftovers poison. I do survive one. Yep, that's what I thought. And now we can go for Moonblast into the Scrafty. And we actually should hard swap the Grim here into Garchomp. And the reason we should do this is because then I can, if the Scrafty has Protects, then I could get a Spirit Break off into the Scrafty the next turn with Grim. So that's kind of my idea here of why I'm making this play. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they double protect, but now I can Spirit Break and Dragon Claw. And that should be good enough here, I think. I guess if the Scrafty has Ice Punch, but I don't think it does. It probably is just like Dark move, Fighting move, Fake out, Protect. Yeah, so we go for Spirit Break into a Dragon Claw. Which should be good here, because Dragon Claw with Life Orb should KO the Dragougi. It's only base 105 defense, and its HP is still abysmal. So Dragon Claw should easily KO the Dragougi, while Spirit Break should allow me to get good damage into Scrafty. So yep, Dragougi goes down to Life Orb Dragon Claw, perfect. And yeah, I get the Spirit Break off. That's a good game. Surprised it's not Roselli Berry. Oh, I actually just one-shot to Scrafty. Okay. I mean, I guess I wasn't intimidated or anything, so Scrafty goes down, and beautiful. All right, so I guess that's what Mega Dragougi does. Toxic Stall, but you know what? We will take it, because I was able to play really well with my Primarina and the Garchomp. All right, we have Sinistra, Garchomp, Staraptor, Ninetales, Sylveon, and Metagross. Interesting. Metagross is going to be a little bit of a tough one. I mean, we do have our Golden Go. Golden Go is really good into my opponent's team just in general. They do not have the best answers to Golden Go. So I think lead-wise, I think it's probably Grimmsnarl Golden Go. It's just so well positioned against my opponent's team other than the Garchomp, which I'm bringing Staraptor for to cover for. And then am I bring my own Garchomp, Arcanine, or am I bring Primarina? Probably Primarina, because it's just able to switch in pretty comfortably to a lot of attacks. Especially like another backup answer to the Garchomp. Even Arcanine is also pretty decent against my opponent's team. It's great in the Ninetales, great in the Sylveon, and it's okay against Metagross. But I do think that these four are probably the best options that I do have. I like having the ability to just get a ton with Golden Go value-wise. So let's see what they decide to lead. Staraptor plus Garchomp could probably be the scariest offensively that they have. Maybe Garchomp Metagross. Garchomp Metagross could definitely be a little bit tricky as well. But otherwise, I think I should be able to safely Nasty Plot against the entire majority of their team. So let's see what they decide to lead. It's going to be lead-wise of the Staraptor Garchomp. Okay, so they led the offensive combo, which is fine, as I do lead Grimmsnarl Golden Go. I think this is okay because I should just be able to get a Reflect off. Yeah, I go for Reflect and a Nasty Plot. Alright, they Mega Evolve a Staraptor immediately. I'm guessing they're going to go for close combat. I'm kind of curious if they're max speed Staraptor. If they're like something like they have some shenanigan on the Ninetales, like Charm or something, so they can boost their attack. Get the Reflect up. Oh, it's Scarf Garchomp. Or it's Adamant Staraptor. Could be one of the two. That's fine. That did so much to my Golden Go. Oh, it's Life Orb. Okay, so it's Adamant. Actually, it's Adamant Staraptor, which makes it probably easier for me, I think. Yeah, I think this might be easier for me. Grimmsnarl survives, which is fine. Alright. Yeah, this is okay. So I think my next play is just to light screen and protect the Golden Go. Because I think the Chomp is in Make It Rain range after that Life Orb chip. And since they don't run any bulk on the Chomp. Okay, we get a light screen off. Okay, Earthquake again. So they're going to take 80% to the Life Orb recall. And they don't get a close combat into my Golden Go because... or they don't get a defense boost because now they don't have a target to hit. Is this Tailwind? This Tailwind is bad. But I don't think so. Yeah, it's just Brave Bird. Okay, cool. So now we can bring out Staraptor. We can Mega Evolve, Tailwind, and Make It Rain. Yeah, that's pretty good for me. So I did give them a boost because of Contrary, but it's still fine. We go for a Mega Evolution Tailwind. My Staraptor is faster than Garchomp. They're Adamant Staraptor and Jolly Garchomp. So we have to Mega Evolve to outspeed their slot. I could go for like Brave Bird in their Staraptor, but I don't know if Brave Bird would KO the Staraptor at the or at +1. So I think it's just better to go for Make It Rain and Tailwind here. Especially if they're Adamant, they could definitely run a lot of bulk. So I definitely go for the Tailwind Mega Evolution here. Staraptor protect, so this is actually really good for me. They just gave me a free Tailwind Make It Rain into the Garchomp, and this will KO. Okay, that's really good. All right, Make It Rain. We do connect. Unfortunately, like I just really don't like the -2. Like I don't get why it's -2 on the Golden Go over like -1, but sure. We KO the Garchomp, and now we're in an okay spot because I think we could KO this. I think we could KO the Staraptor with Brave Bird Shadow Ball. They could Rage Powder, of course, but that's probably okay. Or did I Nasty Plot again? Nasty Plot again might be correct. Actually, I think it is Nasty Plot Brave Bird. They do Rage Powder. Does Sinistra live with Brave Bird? I guess it'll depend on its set. Okay, it's not Cobra Berry, so I do get a Brave Bird off into the Sinistra, which unfortunately does not KO. Missing the KO there is kind of annoying. But granted, like it's still playable. Citrus is also bad. Okay, here comes a Nasty Plot. And they Brave Bird, but they do take recall on their side. I will go down to the Brave Bird, but I think this is reasonable. I guess the question is, do I want to Calm Mind or do I want to Nasty Plot? I'm clicking one of them, I think. But yeah, we're going to go out into our Primarina. I think I clicked Nasty Plot, and I think I clicked Moonblast into Sinistra. Moonblast should knock out Sinistra, and then the Staraptor might protect because they might fear Make It Rain Moonblast here. So I think I just go for a Nasty Plot here plus Moonblast into Sinistra. Because we always deny Trick Room if they have Trick Room on the Sinistra. I think Staraptor would get threatened. Like both of these Pokemon would get threatened by Make It Rain Moonblast. And since I'm under Tailwind, I outspeed Staraptor with both Pokemon. So I think what they want to do is probably go for the same thing they did earlier. But let's see. They might read me to go for a double like setup here. So we could see that. But they do protect with the Staraptor as I anticipated. So this works out pretty well for me. I do get another Nasty Plot. And they did leave Sinistra vulnerable. As I said before, they could Life Dew. They could go for anything else. But this works out pretty well for me. Because I do get the Moonblast KO into Sinistra. And now I'm in a good spot where the Staraptor is still... has just burned their Protect. And there's one more turn of Tailwind. So now I can go for Shadow Ball plus Moonblast and be in a really comfortable spot. So it was kind of a call there. But I still think this works out pretty well for me. Sylveon comes out. They're going to forfeit. Also, my camera froze in the middle of this match. I don't know when that happened, but okay. I didn't realize it froze in the middle of this match, but yeah. We do take the win. All right, we have Swampert, Pelipper, Sinistra, Archaludon, Dragonite, and Grimmsnarl. All right, this seems fine matchup-wise. I think Golden Go, because the Archaludon is the biggest threat, so I do want to make sure I have ways to set up against Archaludon. I do like Grimmsnarl and Golden Go for that reason. I think Staraptor for Intimidate against the Swampert is pretty important, and then probably bring Primarina. It's good into a lot of their team for the most part. It's a water resist, which is good, of course, into the Swampert, but it also provides a bit better rolls. Like Arcanine only really hits the Dragonite for a bit of damage, and then Garchomp's like okay, but it's not like that amazing into their team. Like it could be put in a good spot if I position it well, but with Grimmsnarl's potential, I don't think it's really that great. We're gonna see Swampert plus Pelipper coming in. Okay. Versus Golden Go and the Grimmsnarl. So I'm going out into Primarina, and I'm just gonna click Reflect turn 1. Actually, no, I should Protect turn 1. Yeah, I should Protect turn 1. I don't want to take too much damage on a Prim switch, so I think we Reflect first, Protect, so we don't take too much damage. Then we could go like Staraptor Parting Shots, which is pretty safe. Because we don't want Primarina to take too much damage here, so let's see. We get a Protect off with Golden Go. This could be Earthquake Weather Ball. As we get a Reflect up. And let's see. You go for Earthquake, yep. So this will do an okay amount of damage to the Grimmsnarl. Yep. Weather Ball into the Golden Go. Perfect. And then they're going to double that slot this time. So we're going to go out into Primarina. And we're going to click Parting Shot into the Pelipper or the Swampert. I think we target a Pelipper because if we're Parting Shot, we're not getting Light Screen. The reason we go for this is because we can lower the special attack of the Pelipper at the same time lowering the attack of the Swampert because we can get Staraptor in for Intimidates. Yeah, so now we can go out on a Staraptor, get an Intimidate off into the Swampert, and now they don't really do that much damage here. Yeah, they go for Earthquake again, and if they went for Earthquake Weather Ball, Primarina should be absolutely eating these attacks. Yep. Perfect. That should do, like, no damage. That did more than I thought, actually. That double up did do more than I thought, but we are still in an okay spot. Time to get a Calm Mind up with Primarina. I'm doubling out into my Grimmsnarl. Because this could cover an Archaudon switch. Sure, I could close combat, but actually, maybe they don't switch in Archaudon because of the threat of close combat, but I still like the idea of just getting Grim in so I can set up a light screen or something. They Wave Crash. Okay, that's fine. I'm taking this. Yep. Did they double up that slot with Hurricane? I imagine so. I mean, that's fine. I lose Grim. I don't get light screen up, but granted, like, I don't think that's that bad because then I can just still bring out my Staraptor and get another Intimidate off. Or I could go Gold. Gold is also not a bad play. Also, we do know that it's really fast Pelipper. So it might be like Sash or something. So I like the idea of going out into Gold because Gold is in a very comfortable spot. Do I Hyper Voice? Hyper Voice should KO the Swampert at this range. I think I Hyper Voice Shadow Ball here. The Archaudon's still going to be super scary in the back, but at least we do have Staraptor that can still threaten a very powerful close combat at least into it. Also, the rain turns. We are kind of stalling out a few of the rain turns, so this shouldn't be too bad. Because this is what, third turn of rain or fourth turn of rain? We're going to see Pelipper retreat. Okay, what's Pelipper switching out into? Archaudon? That is a lot of damage I'm getting on Archaudon, which I'll take. They Earthquake themselves too, so this is perfect. Yeah, they do a lot of damage. I think Archaudon's going down to Hyper Voice plus the Shadow Ball. So this is perfect. This is perfect. Maybe they thought I was going to set up again or something, but this works out pretty well. Shadow Ball going to come out on Arch. Good damage. Hyper Voice in rain at +1. Might KO both here. Okay, I KO'd Archaudon. I don't KO the Swampert, but that's still really good. That's still amazing for me. Getting rid of Archaudon, that's the biggest threat to my Staraptor gone. Okay, beautiful. And now, who are they bringing back? They can't really go out on a Pelipper. Sinistra, that's fine. I can Hyper Voice Protect, but I think the Swampert has to switch out here. Or maybe they switch out the next turn because they need the rain back up or they're kind of in a bad position against Staraptor. I think I'm still going to just Shadow Ball to Sinistra and Hyper Voice. It should be not too bad. They go for Wave Crash. We should easily live with Reflect and the Intimidates from earlier. Yep. So Golden Go hangs on. We should get a Shadow Ball off into the Sinistra, and then Hyper Voice should be able to blow back. And then I think Staraptor wins the end game. So Shadow Ball going to come out. It's Cassie Berry, which is fine. It might live to double up, but that's all right because I get rid of the Swampert still. Because this Primarina will still be able to threaten a lot of damage as they do go for Machagacha. Only one thing I gotta dodge here, and thankfully there is no crit. There is a burn, but it's not too bad. The burn is like the least worrisome part. So now we get a Hyper Voice off to KO the Swampert, and we should be in a pretty good spot to win. Yep, because like look at all that damage. I guess they could... no, if they go Pelipper, my best play is to always protect Raper. Yeah, no, I'm still fine. So they should always go Pelipper here. I click Shadow Ball and Protect. The reason I Shadow Ball Protect is because... Ooh, wait, Pelipper is a bit healthier than I thought. But granted, I should still be fine into it. So we Shadow Ball to Sinistra and we Protect. I think they're probably just going to attack with both. They should be like Weather Ball, Machagacha. If they Trick Room, they just lose, so they're never clicking Trick Room. They could Life Dew if they have it, but that's fine, I suppose. Tailwind Protect is like the only play that actually is a bit scary, but I don't think they're making that play realistically. I think they're always going to just KO the Gold. Why did they Weather Ball the Prim? They saw the Sinistra was faster, and they saw the Pelipper was faster than Gold, so I don't get why they didn't just Weather Ball the Golden Go and just go for that. Like, my play was to sack Golden Go, get in Staraptor, and then I have Tailwind, Hyper Voice, or Tailwind Moonblast, and they're both really strong in that position. But now, like, the game is just, like, over, because I get 2 attacks off on the Pelipper, and 2 attacks is all I need to KO the Pelipper. So we go for Shadow Ball, Moonblast, and that is game. I think they might have had a chance if they, like, targeted the gold slot, but we'll take it. Maybe they thought a gold was going to protect, but I really had no reason to protect the gold. Weather Ball also doesn't KO the Primarina. Didn't they reveal Hurricane? Did they not reveal Hurricane? I thought they did. Shadow Ball, that's a lot of damage. Yeah, it's probably Sash Pelipper. Like, that did so much. Moonblast going to KO the Pelipper as well, so Pelipper is gone. And yeah, looks like Staraptor is going to be another mon that is just going to be considered to keep in the back, it looks like. Alright, we have Raichu, Talonflame, Garchomp, Sinistra, Metagross, and Primarina. Definitely an interesting team. Really weak to Garchomp. So, curious if we're going to see Metagross or the Raichu. If I was them, I'd always bring the Metagross. Like, I think the Metagross is just stronger against my team. I don't think... Primarina's not that great. I think Golden Go's fine. I think I like Staraptor plus Grimmsnarl as a lead generally. It's pretty good in everything besides the Metagross, which I can probably play around. So I think I do Golden Go, Garchomp back. Let's see if this is going to be correct or not. Because like I think I could bring the Arcanine. It's good into Metagross. It's good into the Talonflame. And it's good in Sinistra. But it's not good in like Primarina, Garchomp. And Metagross is kind of like iffy because it could still do a lot of work into my with my Arcanine. Because it could carry like Iron Head, Psychic Fang is just way too much damage to Arcanine. Of course it could carry Ground Move. It shouldn't be too problemsome with Focus Sash, but I think Gold is more consistent because it should easily take an attack from Metagross, especially with a Screen Up or Reflect or Intimidate support. Of course, the Metagross will have Clear Body, so I do have to find a way to get Intimidate off or a Stat Drop into it, but usually they like to Mega Evolve like early, so to get the speed advantage as well as the Tough Claws boost, and if that's the case, I should be able to get in Gold pretty safely from there, but let's see what my opponent decides to go with lead-wise. I like the idea of just getting some decent damage across the board or maybe matching Tailwind, but we're going to see Primarina Raichu. Okay, so if they brought Raichu, maybe there is no Metagross. Maybe. Okay, I think turn 1, I'm clicking Spirit Break into the Primarina slot, and I think I'm going to Heart Swap here. Heart Swapping the Garchomp could be a disaster. But I'm willing to risk it. Let's go for it. I'm kind of curious what they go for here turn 1. I could see them going for the electric move Moonblast. I could see it being fake out Calm Mind, and if it's fake out Calm Mind, that isn't too bad for me. This could be fake out Moonblast. It depends on who they Moonblast slot target. But we'll see. I kind of wish I let Gold, because Gold would have been in a fantastic spot here, but we'll find out what they do here. No Mega Evolution. They do fake out the Staraptor though, so if it's Sash Raichu and not the Mega Evolution, that's pretty nice for me. They do Calm Mind, so this is actually pretty good for me because I do get a Spirit Break to negate the special attack boost, and then next turn I do threaten some pretty heavy damage with the Earthquake, so it's not terrible. Yeah, that's not bad damage. So I think this case, I'm going to go for Spirit Break into the Primarina, and I'm actually going to hard swap into Golden Go. This covers Sinistra if they decide to go Sinistra. It doesn't cover Talonflame, which could be a little bit scary, but granted, like I could still Parting Shot it the next turn. I like the idea of just keep spamming Spirit Break to get damage into Primarina to put in range of like any attack here. And we might be forcing the Raichu out because Raichu is just such an awkward spot. If this is support Raichu, it could go for Feint into Garchomp, like Feint Moonblast I could see being a play. Well, let's find out what they decide. Because it looks like Raichu stayed in. So I do go Golden Go. This could be Protect, I suppose. Yeah, that's fine. I am okay with that. Perfect. Perfect, yeah. Could have been into Grim, but like they have to respect Garchomp as a threat realistically. Like Garchomp's just doing way too much. And we get our Spirit Break off into the Primarina. And look at that damage. That's a crit. Yep. I don't think it changes too much of my plan because I guess I could make it rain Spirit Break, take the knockdown on Prim, but I don't think that's very likely the play I'm going for the next turn. I am going to set up a Light Screen though, and I am going to go for a Nasty Plot. Did I Nasty Plot or did I Shadow Ball / make it rain? I think I Nasty Plot here. It could be Nuzzle on the Raichu, which I would not be happy about, but granted, like, this is still an okay spot. Okay, they do Mega Evolve the Raichu. How much does this do damage-wise? They protect Primarina, which makes sense, but this is probably the best I could have asked for, because it's not like they clicked Hyper Voice or Moonblast into Grim. I do get a Light Screen off. Here comes Zap Cannon. A lot of damage. It looks like I live the next one, but I don't live the Hyper Voice double up. Citrus. Oh, that's a very bad para. Very bad para. Oh. Well, I don't have to worry about Metagross, I guess, if it's Metagross back. This is tough. I need damage in a Primarina, so I'm just going to go for the damage in Primarina. I'm going to go for Make It Rain plus the... Okay, they swap out, which is interesting. Sinistra? Talonflame. Okay, so at least I get damage in a Talonflame to break Gale Wings, but I also maybe knock out the Prim here. That did nothing. Here comes Spirit Break once again. Maybe I don't KO Prim. I get parried again. Okay. Getting a little bit ridiculous now. Oh, that's so bad. I didn't break Gale Wings either. Alright, we're going to Parting Shot. We're going to swap here into Staraptor. This is not great. They protect Prim, which makes sense. This is Tailwind. Tailwind's fine. No, they Brave Bird to Grim. Okay, that actually works. Because they break their own Gale Wings. I did Parting Shot out to Talonflame, so the Talonflame is in an awkward spot now. Alright. I do get Staraptor in. My only problem is it's still going to be awkward to deal with the Raichu in the end game. 3 paras in a row? Okay, that one actually kind of helped me though. That one actually kind of helped. We're going to go for Make It Rain, and we're going to go for Nasty. That's insane, man. Triple para with the new para odds is actually like something. That's actually something. All right, we go for a Tailwind and make it rain. Should be fine. We're not Mega Evolving because we do get threatened by Moonblast and Brave Bird, so there's no reason to ever go for Mega Evolution here. My Garchomp's going to have to clutch up in this end game. Garchomp looks really good, but we'll see. We're going to see Raichu retreat. Is this right? Okay, Garchomp themselves. That's fine. Ah, they have Wisp. That's not great. That's still okay. Please let me get the Make It Rain off this time, I guess. Okay, Tailwind. Make It Rain should still do a lot of damage. Okay. And we connect both. Okay, that's good damage to Garchomp, and the Talonflame should be in range of Brave Bird from my Staraptor once I Mega Evolve, so this is not terrible of a play. We're going to go for a Brave Bird into the Talonflame, and we're going to Heart Swap into our Grim. Yes. Yes. So I think my Garchomp should be able to clean up shop. Like, Garchomp looks really good in this endgame, but we'll see how the rest plays out. Okay, here comes Grimmsnarl. And we Mega Evolve Staraptor to gain extra attack so we can always KO the Talonflame with Brave Bird. Garchomp protects, which is super ideal actually. Because we do KO the Talonflame. So Talonflame goes down, excellent. This endgame's still a little bit tricky, but granted, like, I think I should have enough resources at this point. Should always be... Are you going to Raichu or are you going out into Prim, I guess is the question. Because Prim goes down to a double up. And I could always close combat to Chomp if I really, really need to. Raichu. Should I just close combat the Raichu? Maybe it's close combat the Raichu. I can't get Parrot here. There's a Tailwind. I'm gonna Spirit Break close combat. They go for Fake Out, which is fine, because I do get the Spirit Break off into the Raichu. It's not max speed Chomp, which is good to know. So I do get a big Spirit Break into the Raichu for the special attack drop. And then they go for Rock Slide, which is fine. They did so much. Okay, it was Life Orb. Yeah, that makes sense. They're adamant Life Orb too, because Grimmsnarl does not outspeed max speed Chomp. Yeah. All right, we're going to go for a Roost, I guess, to heal the Staraptor. You might as well go for it. And I'm going to go for a Spirit Break into the Garchomp on their side. Yeah, because they're going to either protect or double protect. Maybe I could have reflected, but this is still pretty all right here, I think, for me. Yeah, because they did actually attack Greedy with the Chomp, which is what I kind of thought. So this actually works out perfectly. I do get the KO into Garchomp. We know it's Adamant Life Orb, so Garchomp goes down. And now I get a free switch into my Garchomp, and I should be in an okay spot. Although Light Screamer is off this turn, right? Tailwind Peers out. No, I want my turn of Light Screen, so let's see if Staraptor can live a Zap Cannon. It's -1 Raichu. Yeah, I don't know. I think I should live a Zap Cannon. It's -1 Raichu versus +1. Oh, no, wait, I didn't close combat at all. Maybe I don't survive. But I mean, they don't survive the Life Orb Earthquake, so it doesn't matter. I guess I Tailwind Earthquake here. Yeah, Tailwind Earthquake is pretty alright here. They go for Zap Cannon. Do I survive this? I do not, but that's alright because Life Orb Earthquake should KO both. So, should be alright. Okay, playing against the Raichu is always a little bit annoying, but you know what? We will take it. Garchomp does clean up here. We got the Primarina into range of the attacks. We were able to utilize the Tailwind on the Staraptor pretty well for the most part, and able to kind of call when they would go aggressive, get rid of their Garchomp on the last turn. Tailwind ended up working out super well for me, so we will take it there. Very nice. Alright, we have Charizard, Garchomp, Basculegion, Whimsicott, Sneasler, and Gardevoir. So, I mean, it's a pretty standard team. What do I want to go against this? I do kind of like Arcanine quite a bit against this team. It just doesn't work against Garchomp lead. Do I think Garchomp's going to lead? Probably not. They also have to really respect Golden Go, by the way, because Gardevoir, Sneasler, Whimsicott, not exactly great into it. So I think they have to bring the Charizard. I don't think I like Prim in this matchup. I like Arcanine a bit. I like Arcanine Grim because I can set up screens and Arcanine's pretty good against this team, I think, for the most part. I don't mind Staraptor Garchomp in the back either. I like having fast things because if it's not Scarf Basculegion, I should be able to threaten a ton of damage just in general to always pressure it. So I think that's always the idea here. Prim's a bit too slow pace as well as my other Pokemon. So we're gonna see Garchomp Charizard. So this actually works out pretty well in my favor. Arcanine and the Grimmsnarl. So I imagine you don't want to take a Rock Slide with Charizard. A lot of the Charizards aren't timid in this format. Unless they change the team, which great. That would not be fun. I'm thinking this is probably Protect Earthquake, so I'm going to go for a very potential risky play, but I'm going to go for Spirit Break plus Protect. I might not get screens up. They do Mega Evolve, so... Are they actually max speed on their Charizard? I guess we'll find out here. So it's not Gardevoir probably brought him back unless it doesn't have a Mega Stone, like a Choice Scarf or something. We Protect Arcanine. They Rock Slide? Wait. If you're going to make that play, why don't you click Earthquake? I'm so confused. Okay. And they crit the Grimmsnarl, and that crit did matter. Sure. You know what? Still an okay spot. We go into Staraptor. We're Mega... Do I Mega here? I think I have to. We're gonna Rock Slide. We're gonna Mega. And Tailwind. Because if they Rock Slide again, I'm just in a bad spot. Unless it's Scarf, I'm still in a bad spot. But like, yeah. Unbelievable is my question mark? I don't know. But we're gonna go for Tailwind Rocks. Okay, it is Scarf Chomp. I still don't get why they lock in a Rock Slide. I really can't afford to flinch here, unfortunately. Tailwind? Like, why was that their play? Okay, thank goodness I hit. So I do get rid of Charizard. Garchomp's not doing crazy amounts of damage to me. I think that this is pretty acceptable. For what it is, it's pretty acceptable. Now it's probably Whimsicott coming out, which is okay. If it's Bask, I head smash it, I suppose. Sneasler coming in, alright. I think I'm just gonna go Garchomp and click Close Combat. Actually, no. I guess I'm just gonna Flare Blitz to Sneasler. I don't know why Sneasler came in. And then I'm gonna Close Combat the Garchomp slot. I guess I could switch out Garchomp into Bask. Let's see. Why did I say that out loud? Why did I say that out loud? They fake out the Staraptor though, so it's not too bad because I do get a Flare Blitz off into Sneasler. They didn't bring Whimsicott, which is interesting, but okay. We do get a Flare Blitz off into the Sneasler, and it does one-shot the Sneasler. So if I KO the Bask, I do win the game. So I think I go for Head Smash, Brave Bird into Bask. So I'm going to go for Head Smash, Brave Bird into Bask. Aqua Jet does not KO me at this range. Okay, yep, I didn't feel like they would protect because Garchomp can't really get a KO by itself here other than like Earthquake or Ground Move, but then you can't beat the Staraptor. I do hit the Head Smash, so I do KO the Basculegion. Goodbye, Basculegion. That is gone, and now we're able to win the game. So, you know what? We'll take it. I'm surprised we didn't see like a Whimsicott here, but we definitely take it. They also locked in a Rock Slide, and that Rock Slide's not enough. I can also Roost here, which is nice for this final turn, and I have Garchomp in the back. we're going to go for our own Rock Slide, and we're going to go for a Roost, because then we lose our flying typing, we're only fighting typing, we resist the Rock Slide, so we can stick around, and we'll go for Rock Slide so it's not single target Rock Slide. And now we have multiple chances to just win the game here. Look, we have to get insanely unlucky here. Like, they have to like super flinch us down with Rock Slide, because I have Life Orb Chomp with Dragon Claw that just one shots, and if I get Tailwind up, I do just win the game. So all I need to do is just get one Dragon Claw. They're gonna forfeit because I don't think they, whatever I had in the back like was pretty much being this. Like I had Primarina, I had Garchomp, and then I don't remember my last, but I probably would have beaten it too. So how was the team? I think the team overall, I mean, Golden Go is kind of weird. I do like Golden Go, but I do think the Make It Rain nerf was way too much. I would have preferred just like 10 or 20 base power in the base power just removed, because I think -2 basically makes it so that like I think Make It Rain is a pretty bad move overall. I think Flash Cannon, Golden Go could probably put in work, but like it's really tough for it to justify Golden Go, I think, in a format where Charizard, King Gambit, Basket Legion will probably still be running around. So it might have some use, but it's definitely not the king of like Scarlet and Violet's VGC like it used to be. I do think that Staraptor is pretty cool though. I think you could probably get away with running like adamant bulkier sets, because it wasn't really able to take too many hits initially unless you got like multiple close combat boosts, even with screens up. So that might be something to consider, but I think Staraptor is able to be great as a support mon. I don't know about like a full-on sweeper, because it still has like good bulk, but it's not like incredible bulk even after like a +1 close combat boost. So we'll see how Staraptor is able to develop as the format goes on, but I do think it is a very cool Mega Evolution, probably one of the best new ones that was introduced in this regulation. If you'd like to try out the team, make sure you try it out with the replica code on your screen. Otherwise, you can check out more VGC content from me as always, and make sure you subscribe for it.